New details are emerging about the recent Baltimore mass overdose event last week. Spotlight on Maryland's Gary Collins went to several open-air drug markets in the city and has an update on that investigation.
What's up? What it do? I'm bringing this to you right here just to touch up on something that I brought you a couple days ago now. A whole bunch of other people was jumping up and down saying that people died. I still haven't found any evidence of people that died. So, I like to bring you the real deal story now. Baltimore, we cousins to Baltimore here in Washington, D.C. Baltimore like 30 to 40 minutes away from D.C., depending on where you're going. And the only thing that I wanted to point out and bring to people's attention and to make people fully understand that, the dope game and opioid epidemic that plague, inner cities across America for decades. Specifically in Baltimore, we right here in Washington, D.C., we done been a part of that epidemic many times. But what I wanted to point out to people is that, as the designer thing come around, as we call it, like some people call it Fetty Wap, some people call it Fendi, I might call it designer, but everybody know what's up with this this fentanyl thing that's basically invading the dope game. You can't even sell real dope no more because of that fentanyl situation. But however, I wanted to point out, I want y'all to pay attention because, sometimes when I'm talking, people might think that I just think I know what I'm talking about. But listen to what the experts say in this news clip right here. They talking about this thing called xylazine. If you even concerned or hear anything about when they talk about tranquilizer, they talking about xylazine. However, the xylazine thing is one of the reasons or barriers or ingredients that is kind of stopping the effect of Narcan. For those who don't know what Narcan is a substance or a drug that they use to reverse opioid overdose. But nevertheless, the last count that I got on these drug overdoses over here in Penn North, I used to go to Baltimore all the time. I got cousins live on Pennsylvania Avenue. I say that all the time. So Penn North and Pennsylvania Avenue, what they're now blaming this Joan on is xylazine being in this new drug that just hit the strip called New Jack City. I can't confirm none of the stuff pertaining to xylazine being in New Jack City. This is just what the reports coming out to say that the people that overdosed, they say that some of these people tested positive for fentanyl with xylazine in it. Just bringing you the real. Shout out to Baltimore.
Take a look at this. 5 days after a mass overdose in the city, our team took to multiple open-air drug markets around the city and found rampant selling and apparent hard drug use. Our team even sent a message to local officers after finding this lady, whose face we were blurring, in the middle of the street after buying drugs half a block away. Baltimore police, with knowledge of the recent mass overdose investigation, and city residents who reside near open-air drug markets, say a new street drug called New Jack City is hitting the community. Sources say the latest batch of New Jack City likely was given as a sample to buyers last week. They add the drug is a synthetic laced with Freon or antifreeze, so it gives users a strong high, but makes them sick instead of killing them. So we're here at Pennsylvania North Avenue, Baltimore's maybe most notorious open-air drug market. We met up with a man who used to be a customer on the street corner. Meet Darren Dugan, a mid-30-year-old man who went to an area private school and fought addiction before becoming sober in 2020. So what does this corner mean to you?
For this corner, for me, is definitely a spot where I found a lot of pain in active addiction. I was an IV user. I was homeless a few blocks away from here, sleeping in a warehouse 5 years ago. Now I see it as kind of an opportunity to hopefully give back, maybe help some people who are making the choices I made make different ones.
We asked Dugan what gives Penn North, the same intersection that was ground zero 10 years ago during days of civil unrest after the death of Freddie Gray, its prominence. How active of a street corner is this?
Obscenely active. It's an open-air drug market. There is, it seems like there's always an officer parked at the corner, and I remember coming out here and literally walking right past the police, probably 100 feet in front of them, wondering if it's okay, copping and then walking back. These are just places where people can come en masse all day long.
We asked Dugan about the mass overdose that happened last week and the drug New Jack City, some say, may be responsible.
One of the drugs that were said to be, sold here is something called New Jack City. How terrible of a product is that?
So, unfortunately, there's a mass of the fentanyl that's going out is now also laced with xylazine. And the more they lean on xylazine, the harder it is for people to even be resuscitated with Narcan. It's not an opiate, but it still suppresses your nervous system. So when people use it, Narcan does not help. The only thing that helps is somebody who's able to apply rescue breathing for the entirety of the time while waiting.
We took questions about open-air drug markets and New Jack City to the Baltimore City State's Attorney's Office.
My name is Robin Worley, and I am the prosecutor for Drug Treatment Court and Circuit Court for Baltimore City.
Does Baltimore have an open-air drug market problem?
I mean, we certainly have a drug problem in Baltimore City, but everywhere. That's not just here. And we do have open-air drug markets. Anybody who lives or drives through the city can see that. So I would say yes.
How important it is for your office to stay aware of some of these new drugs that are hitting the street that can cause overdose.
Well, the thing is, and I think people need to understand, any drug can kill you. Depending on the formulation, depending on what it's cut with, depending on what may be nearby. You may think you're buying heroin. You may end up with something completely different.
Hey, do you have your phone on you? Can I give you number?
Meanwhile, back on Penn North, Darren ran into a woman he previously used with years ago. He directed her to a recovery center and gave her words of encouragement that she too can break her addiction. We asked him about the interaction as he stood in front of an abandoned warehouse he and other users lived after getting high.
A few minutes ago, we came across somebody that you knew out here in the streets.
Yes.
How, as somebody who is recovered and is in the process of constant recovery, what was that like?
What can I do? Just 2 seconds for one person, and if it's writing down a phone number to a program, then I'm going to write down the number to a program. I see somebody who has the same chance and same opportunities that I had.
Gary Collins in Baltimore City with Spotlight on Maryland.
Spotlight on Maryland reached out to Baltimore police for more details about New Jack City with additional questions about Baltimore's open-air drug trade. Our questions were not immediately answered.